Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2000 subscription AMA/channel update with me, Phantom Zwei. So, it has been quite some time. I'm very aware of that, and I apologize for that. We're going to play a little Melty Blood while we go through all of this, just so we have something going on. There will be a lot of me sitting at menus and such, I imagine, though. But, yeah, so before we get into the AMA, for 2,000 subscribers, which thank you all very much for that. I would like to kind of explain where I've been, channel update, just a little bit. We're going to get to some of the channel update in the AMA, actually, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. But we're going to give a general overview here. Let's do a little training. So, it's been, it's 3 or 4 months. I'm not even sure at this point how long since I posted a video. I am okay. I am alive. But I have had some issues. For a while, it was a combination of work and laziness. Work went through an amazingly busy period, and I was just, frankly, I was just stressed out and tired, and I just didn't have the energy to record. And so once I fell behind, it was just a cycle of me kind of being like, well, I'm already behind, I'll do it on my next day off, and then I just wanted to, either rest or, do something fun on my days off, so I wouldn't do it. Not that I don't find recording fun, but, sometimes you gotta be in the mood, is basically what I'm saying. So, that kind of put me further and further behind. And then, after a while, around early August, I would say, somewhere around there, I ended up getting very sick. At first, I thought it was just a cold, and, kind of didn't really do anything about it. And I was also super busy still at work at that point. And, oh man, this controller configuration is not what I usually use, but we'll deal with it. But anyway, that made it so I ended up getting more sick. And eventually, I think it more or less turned into, I'm not even sure, but I think it ended up being some kind of bronchitis, which I am still having a problem with. I'm still clearing my throat and coughing all the time, and it's been like a month and a half, at least, since it first showed up. So I've just, I've not really been in a position to record, unfortunately. Okay, so I can dash like that. As a result, just because I would be constantly coughing and such. I've been feeling some better today, and hopefully I just continue on the upward trend. Work has also gotten a lot less busy, which is great in terms of giving me some time to record. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to the menu here. Oh, now restart. And we'll just play through on arcade mode with Akiha. Where is Akiha? We'll just do regular Akiha. We'll just skip this. But yeah, I'm going to try not to ramble, because I already tried to record this once, and it was a ramble fest. So, that being the case, that really put me behind. I do apologize for just not posting anything. But, I just kept rationalizing, like, well, I'm going to get back to it, here or there, and then I didn't do it. So that's totally my fault. I hope to get back into it pretty soon, assuming my throat cooperates. I'm going to be, doing some more Danganronpa if, going forward. But I might put something else in there. I've already started something else. The Star Nova Shining Stars, I believe it's called. The new Love and Space game they're working on. They put out a demo, and I actually started recording that before I got sick. And I got 4 or 5 episodes of it recorded, but I was like, okay, I'm not going to post this because I don't want to start in something that I'm not finished with. I don't want to start putting it up, without knowing that it's done, because it's just a demo. So, I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna, plug the Kickstarter, and if people want to donate, they can do it. And then I got super sick and just was not in a position to record for, like a month and a half now. So I've got to record more of that, but I am going to be putting that up very soon. I haven't recorded any more Danganronpa If, but that will be continuing too. But there may be a gap there. And we will talk more about kind of what else I'm looking at during the AMA in terms of what we'll be doing in the future for the channel. So we'll just hop into the AMA straight away from here. Thank you all for submitting your questions. And again, thank you all for subscribing. It's totally understandable that a lot of people have unsubscribed, given that I haven't posted a video in 3 or 4 months. Those of you who stuck with me, thank you very much. I know some of you have been here with me for years, which is crazy. And again, thank you so much for your support. It definitely gives me motivation to record, when there isn't so much else going on that's kind of, biting for my time. I am hoping in the next year to change my career. I'm going to be going back to school and getting some education, in a field that I feel like might be promising. So I'm hoping, no promise, of course, like anything in life, but I would love it if I was able to kind of get into this new job, and that gave me more time and energy to record, but we will see. And again, that is at least a year off, but that's neither here nor there. So, first question. Symmetry Fail asks, where have you been to in terms of countries, and would you ever consider extensive traveling? All right, so something you need to know about me right off the bat with this sort of question is I'm a homebody, and I always have been. I actually never left the country. I live in the United States, and I don't really have a lot of ambition in terms of travel. I would like to go to London at some point to see some of the sites that I'm interested in. And I would like to go to Japan just because, obviously from, my channel, oh, dang it, I'm interested in, kind of some of the culture, a lot of the culture as it relates to the Japanese stuff. So that's kind of like the only places that, at this point in my life, at least, I'm particularly interested in going to. If I had other reasons to go to a place, I wouldn't be necessarily, super against going. But, just to go somewhere, like, for vacation or something, like, I'm someone who enjoys staycations as much as vacations. I just want to get some R&R. I'm perfectly happy to stay at home or, in the area or, visit some family or something like that and, just recharge that way. Man, this is really on an easy mode, isn't it? But yeah, that's pretty much it. I have simple tastes. I'm a simple guy. What can I say? Okay, so thank you for the question, Symmetry Fail. Next question is from Spacko306, who asks, are you going to play Steins Gate Zero when it comes out? That's how long ago this was. I first came across your channel through your Steins Gate Let's Play, which I really liked, so that would be cool. Thank you very much, Spacko. I do appreciate the interest. I really want there to be a PC version of Steins Gate Zero. I don't know that there will be, though. That being the case, that definitely makes it more inconvenient for me to do, and thus makes me less interested in doing it. I wouldn't rule it out, but I wouldn't say that it's something that's immediately on my radar to prioritize either. Even though Steins Gate Zero is out now, I literally didn't even know it was out until a few weeks after it had come out. I was like, oh, that hit, huh? Okay. So I haven't really followed it super closely. But yeah, I would be interested in eventually playing it, but I definitely don't want to make a promise that I will. So, time will tell with that one, I suppose. If there's a good sale on it, and I don't have anything else that I really want to play on the channel for a period, maybe that'll take a spot, but yeah, it's not really a priority for me. Thank you for the question. Pobart13 asks, what do you think about the new Aqua Girls? This is a Love Live question, by the way. Oh, wait. Well, I just realized that there's no audio coming in from the game, which is, that's fine. We don't really need it. But I thought I had it down really low, but there's just no audio at all. Okay, well, that's fine, I suppose. Anyway, Pobar13 asks, what do you think about the new Aqua Girls, their personalities, and their music? Do you have a favorite yet? Again, these questions are pretty old, so I do apologize for taking so long to get to them. I do enjoy Aqua. I will say that I'm far less into Love Live than I used to be. Kind of, when Muse disappeared, I lost a lot of interest in the franchise, because they're the reason that I got into Love Live in the first place. It was special for me as, that was the first Idol series that I got really into. There was, Sif also that helped get me into the franchise. That being School Idol Festival, the mobile game, which I got super into for a long time. And I actually hardly play now. I try to remember to play a song daily for the daily Love Gem that you can get from that. But a lot of times I don't even do that. So yeah, it's not really a priority for me anymore. I will say my favorite Aqua Girl is Hanamaru, like, easily. But, yeah, just in general, not nearly as into the franchise since Aqua's come around. I do feel like they have some good songs, though, and it's not because Aqua's bad. It's just because I really liked Muse, and still do really like Muse. But, Muse is done, so it is what it is. So thank you very much for the question. Let's see, because I'm trying not to linger, even though I have a tendency to ramble. Shad This asks, which I assume that you say Shad This. I usually just call you Shad. Anyway, he asks, will you be playing, not LPing, but just playing Say Nauticana after you finish the Reptuna route? If yes, will you be posting the ending scenes and finales of other routes as part of your original LP? By the last part, I mean with commentary. I have played through most of the other routes at this point in my own time. You probably already figured this out. But, I'll answer it straight away. But I'm not posting the other endings or anything like that. Just because I did go through them in my own time, and it was a complete playthrough, and that's kind of what I generally go for, my LPs on my channels. We go through our routes. Sometimes we'll do multiples, like Jisun no Mao is kind of like all the routes kind of lead together into a full story. So like in that game, I wanted to do all of them. But Say Nauticana, they're all self-contained. So I just wanted to do one route and leave it there. But yeah, I think I still have to finish Naya's route, and I think I'm in the middle of Katima's route, on Very Hard. And I've already finished Very Hard on, gosh, I don't even remember whose I played it on. But yeah, those are the last two routes that I have to do. The others are all done. But yeah, again, thank you so much for helping me through the series of Say Nauticana, Shad. Appreciated your help very much during that. That was a lot of fun. And he also asks, after Say Nauticana and Danganronpa 2 is finished, will you be starting a new BNLP? After Danganronpa If is done, well, I might even start something else in the middle and just kind of have Danganronpa If every now and then, since it is just kind of like a side story that literally has no choices. I'm not totally decided yet. And like I said, I know I will be posting up the Star Nova demo, but that's just a demo. So once that is done, I will be doing a new visual novel on the channel. I do welcome suggestions, and I would love to hear more suggestions from you guys. I do have a few things in mind off the top of my head, and there's probably some things I'm forgetting. But I don't want to sit here and and ah while I try to think of them. So off the top of my head, I've been considering Ace Academy, Shadows of Pygmalion, and Tokyo Babel. All of which look pretty interesting to me. I've actually finished Ace Academy, like I played it before, but I did enjoy it, and I feel like it's really funny. It's got a lot of charm to it, even though the story isn't anywhere near as good as a lot of visual novels I usually play. It would just be something lighthearted and silly to play on the channel. Shadows of Pygmalion and Tokyo Babel I know much less about and have not played, but they look interesting to me from the premise. I think there's also one called like Chrono Clock or something that looked interesting, which I'm also like I might consider getting if there's interest in it. Oh man, I love this track. But oh man, yeah, get him. Sorry about that. Anyway, I might consider playing that as well if there's interest in it. So just let me know what you guys think, and if you have any preferences on those games or others that you might be interested in. But do bear in mind, please, when you are making requests, that there are some games that I just can't play on the channel because they have a streaming and visual novel, or not visual novel, let's play policy that just does not allow you to let's play or stream the games. And some of them, like, you can stream them up to a certain point, but I don't want to tease a visual novel like that unless it is just like a demo that I'm playing through to be like, hey, be aware of this, you know? So, yeah. Do bear that in mind. You don't have to worry about it while you're making suggestions, but there are maybe some games that I just can't do as a result of that. A good example is Root Double Before the Crime, I think, which is a game that I really want to play, actually own, but I can't stream or let's play it because there is a limit on what I can play up to, and that would just be a tease and frustrate people, I feel like. So I don't want to bother let's playing it. But I am going to play it for myself. I haven't done it yet, but I literally own it. I just haven't played it. Let's see. After that, and thank you for the question, Chad. After that, we have a question from GLHF2, who asks, several questions. He asks, have you ever considered maybe having the secondary playthrough, not being a 30 to 40 hour playthrough and instead limiting it to being 10 to 15 hours at most? Say, like Long Live the Queen or Lucid 9. I don't like Long Live the Queen very much, so it wouldn't be that, but Lucid 9 is definitely a possibility. I enjoyed the variety of 2 LPs at once, and at least from my point of view, it seemed like a major part of what killed your motivation on Danganronpa 2 was one part getting corrupted like a third or half of the way through a huge visual novel. The corruption did kill a lot of my motivation for Danganronpa 2, I will admit. Just because, this is a hobby for me, so when I would come home and be like, I have to play through an extra hour of what I've already played through, it definitely made me not want to do it. I fully admit that. With that said, I may do 2 LPs at a time again in the future. I don't want to make a promise about it, though, because it does take even longer to get through a game when I do that. On one hand, and on the other hand, like the daily schedule, I don't know if it's something I can really sustain at this point, especially if I go back to school. Like, there's just no way that I'll be able to do my job and school and maintain a consistent YouTube schedule. So definitely not going to promise that I will. But I would like to. It's just a matter of time, energy, and, I will admit, sometimes motivation. I can be a lazy bastard. But yeah, I do also like the variety of 2 at a time, but those are my reasons why I am not doing it at the moment. And, for the foreseeable future, unless I am doing something like, just every now and then posting up episodes of Danganronpa If, which is what I'll probably do with that series, I'll stick with 1 as kind of the primary. Okay, he also asks, I was wondering your opinion on Sei no Kana's second half compared to the first half. It seemed to me that the second half felt a lot weaker, not bad, but say like a 6 out of 10 rather than a 9 out of 10 than the first half. But I can't really put my finger on why. Do you have any idea on that, or if you felt roughly about the same about the halves, or like the second half better? I'd be curious about that too. Well, I actually do kind of agree with your assessment on it, GLHF. I felt like the late middle part of the game was pretty weak specifically. I felt like Subaru in Sho's world was easily my least favorite part of the game. Like, I actually actively dislike that part of the game when I'm replaying it. Every fight is a dragon, which is just, they're HP sponges, which I find obnoxious from a gameplay perspective. I didn't like the story very much. I felt like the pacing was awful, because of the because of the fact that you have to fight Sho and Subaru just over and over and over again, especially Sho. And I don't know, I just really didn't like that area of the game. I felt like they really could have done better in that regard. So, yeah. Beyond that, I really did enjoy chasing Zetsu, though, and, kind of discovering the Sovereign Ones, or Sovereign Gods, rather. And then, I did enjoy going after, Nozomi and Satsuki and all that. I really enjoyed the whole Sovereign Gods portion of the game. I thought that was actually really good. But then we get into the, what are they called? The antibodies. And I felt like they were awful as villains. I also felt like Et Karifa was a far less intriguing villain than the Sovereign Gods to me. And I felt like Yaga was even worse. I don't know. I felt like Yaga was just super lame because there was no build-up. She popped up here and there, kind of like, ooh, this is a character that you've seen and again. Is there any reason behind it? And then suddenly, she's just this evil, terrible Eternal that you have to kill at the end. But there was no build-up, Just because you have her spaced out in scenes, kind of like foreshadowing that she might come around again and do something, doesn't mean that it was good build-up for her as a villain. I don't know. So those are my opinions on a few aspects of the game that I particularly liked and didn't like, but I still feel like the early parts of the game were the best overall, and I agree with you there, because I feel like the areas where you were still going through the game and you were collecting your party and learning about, the character you were picking up, but still kind of also getting a lot of scenes with the characters that you had just picked up, I felt like the pacing was best when it was just kind of like, almost like, just a typical adventure story. But, with Eternals and Eternity Swords and all that stuff that we just enjoy, or I enjoy. So I kind of agree with you. The early parts of the game overall, I think, are considerably better than the latter half. And that's kind of where I stand on a few parts of the game overall. Then he asks, will you ever be playing Idle Death Game TV if it's ever translated into English? I'd actually never heard of that game until you mentioned it in this question, and I looked into it, and yeah, if it ever gets translated, I will totally play that. And I'm about to get destroyed by this boss, because I don't know how to fight it, because I'm a casual scrub. Well, actually, I'm not good at Melty Blood in general, but, excuse me, but I just enjoy playing it. And sorry if I'm coughing and clearing my throat a lot, I still am sick a bit, so... yeah, that's why I didn't want to record. But yeah, the short answer to that is simply yes. It looks crazy, and I would totally be into playing it if it got a translation. He also asked, your favorite VN and why? There's a few ways I could have gone on this, honestly. But overall, when I think back to a few things, a few aspects, my gosh, this must be on super easy, because this boss is just not fighting back. But it has to go to Ever 17, I think. Ooh. And the reason for that is a few things. First of all, it was just when I was most into visual novels in my life. Like, I was just super enamored with visual novels at the time. I was following everything. I was just super into it. And, there was just great characters, a great story with an amazing twist, and... that combined with the sentimental value of it, for me, it easily being the best visual novel translated into English when it came out. It just makes it a kind of a no-brainer for me, for that period. The visual novels that I would kind of put as an honorable mention for me are Fate Stay Night and Steins Gate, because both of those games are also incredible. There's a few other ones that also... are really good, but I don't really feel like quite measure up on, to me personally, enough to be able to be in the same category as those three. So yeah, I suppose Ever 17, that's my overall answer to that. Least favorite visual novel and why is his next question, and for that, I have a pretty simple answer. You probably never heard of it, because no one's ever heard of it. It's Dragonia from Hitameki International Group, which is the company that did the translation for Forever 17, that brought over Phantom Inferno, and did the Anime Play DVD visual novels back in the day, all that stuff. Dragonia rather, was a Anime Play DVD to just add a turd onto that sandwich, which made it even worse. But the game itself was terrible. It was a sword and sorcery theme visual novel where you were just the most stereotypical, no brains in his head warrior protagonist ever. The plot was just boring. The pacing was written by a 10-year-old. I mean, it was just atrociously paced. And, I could never bring myself to get past, the second town. I tried numerous times, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. Because even back then, when we had so few visual novels to play compared to now and such, I just knew how garbage it was. And I played so many of the other releases that Hitameki put out even, like Amusement Park. Amusement Park is a goddamn masterpiece compared to Dragonia, and Amusement Park is not a good visual novel, let me tell you. If you ever have the displeasure of looking into Dragonia from Hitameki, I assume it's from Hitameki because I could never find any information about who actually did it otherwise. So, good. Look into it. I don't know if you can find anything about it on YouTube or not. I've never looked. But that game, it's so bad. So bad. Let's see. He also asks, hobbies/skills besides VNs and anime-related stuff. Not many from a practical perspective, honestly. I will say that I really enjoy writing. I wouldn't say I'm a great writer, but I would say that I am good enough at it that I can consider it a skill. That's also basically a hobby, I suppose, because it's not like I do it. There's nothing I do related to writing that's related to making money. But it's something I've done since I was, before I was even a teenager, and something that I still do to this day. And just because I enjoy it, and, as a result, from doing it for years and years and years, I'm decent at it. The problem is I'm not incredibly creative, but I do love immersing myself in these fantasy worlds and stuff, which is why I'm so into video games and visual novels and blah, blah, blah. I like to write. I don't have nearly as many practical skills. I don't have a good answer for you in that regard. He also asks, how and why did you start YouTube and playing VNs? Okay, so, and I'll just play another character here. Aki is the only character I ever play in Melty Blood, so anyone else I play is just going to be awful. But let's play Ryogi Shiki here. So, I started playing VNs because I actually, it's twofold. I enjoyed choose-your-own-adventure stories when I was a kid, and I enjoyed simulation dating sims when I first discovered them. There was a game called True Love 97 that I played back on the PC. I think it was like Windows 98 or something back in the day. But anyway, I got hooked on the storytelling format kind of from there. Because, visual novels and dating sims, obviously different things, but they were kind of considered the same at that time. So, by a lot of people. Enough that I got the link from that. I basically started doing YouTube, because I wanted to share my enthusiasm for visual novels. So you can go back and actually look at my earliest, videos. To this day, I don't think I've deleted anything. If I have, I don't remember it. I posted one or two VN openings, and a Phantom Inferno music video, and from there I went into my old video reviews. So you can kind of see the transition from that. I basically, first I was like, hey, I want to show people these openings for visual novels that I am interested in. And from there, it was, well, I love Phantom Inferno, so let me make an AMV of it, because AMVs were, or at least I feel like they were more popular at that point in time. I, at the very least, watched a lot more of them. Man, I don't know how to play Shiki. And from there, I was like, well, I like visual novels. I want to share, kind of like how I feel about these visual novels. So let me do some, video reviews on them. And that's kind of basically how it went from there. From there, I started doing Let's Plays because I got interested in Let's Plays, watching other people do Let's Plays of, more traditional games. And, again, kind of want to share my enthusiasm. And nowadays, like, I definitely prefer LPs to doing video reviews just because of the ease of content. I do feel like the one review I've done recently, well, not even recently, like a year ago at this point, of Sunrider Liberation Day was probably the best content I've done in a long time for the channel. But they take just exponentially more time. Like, I can literally play through half a visual novel in the time it takes me to do a video review of one. And frankly, there doesn't seem to be that much more interest based on the hit counts of the last video review I did compared to the Let's Plays. Like, it's more popular than my my LPs, but only by like a small margin. So, like, every now and then I still would like to do a video review, but it's just not worth the effort compared to doing video reviews, or rather, compared to doing LPs at this point. So, yeah, went into a bit more detail there than just, kind of what got me into it. But that's my mindset at this point in time. He also asks, your favorite character in any story? Hang on here. I'm sorry, these are from... I think I said that this was from GLHF, but these are from Dante, starting from the favorite VNNY, all the way down to, right now, the favorite character in any story. Okay, here we go. So, yeah, thank you, Dante. Favorite character in any story? I have a bad memory, and I tend to focus on things that I have played recently, or, at least in the recent past. So, by no means do I want to say that this is absolutely my favorite character in any story. But I will say that this is a character that has kind of like stood the test of time in my mind, and I still have a great affinity for. And his character you probably know very well. That would be Rin from Fate Stay Night. Specifically Rin from the visual novel Fate Stay Night, rather than from like Rin extrapolated from some of the more recent works from Type Moon. Because she has a lot more depth as a character in the original work. And I feel like, she is kind of like the tsundere poster girl in a lot of ways. But she's a lot more than that as a character. She has a lot of nuance if you actually go back and look at the visual novel. Plus, she is hella cute. So that definitely gives her some bonus points, and don't let anybody tell you differently. So, my answer for right now would be Rin Tosaka from Fate Stay Night. I like her a lot. Do you speak any languages other than English? No, I do not. In middle school, I took gosh, I don't even remember if it was 1 or 2 quarters of Spanish, and I took 2 semesters of French in high school. But I remember very little about either of them, honestly. I am... for some reason I have a knife on the ground. I don't know how to play Shiki again. But anyway. Yeah, my bad memory again comes into play here because I just don't remember like much of anything about it. If I went to France, I would have a hard time getting through a very basic conversation, and probably wouldn't be able to if it veered into anything other than like asking someone's name or where the bathroom was. So yeah. Let's see. Any wild or crazy stories from your past? Nothing too crazy from my personal life. The only stories I could tell are related to my family, which I don't really want to get into for obvious reasons. Like there's some stories from work I could get into. They're less crazy and more just about like obnoxious people that make me hate humanity. So yeah, they're probably not really what you're looking for. And since I don't want to go into the family thing, yeah, I'm just not going to answer this question. So, thank you for asking. But yeah, I'm just going to kind of not go into that. Because it's just sad. So, let's move along. Let's see. I gotta scroll down here. Dragonia asks, do you have a VNDB account that you keep updated as you play new visual novels? You've done Let's Plays of 5 of my favorite visual novels of all time: Steins Gate, Ever 17, G Senju no Mao, Danganronpa, and Fate Stay Night. And I'm very interested very interested in what else you find interesting. If not, I'll just ask you if you have any recommendations for visual novels that you haven't LP'd on this channel yet. Admittedly, I've not followed the visual novel scene in general nearly as closely as I used to the past couple of years. Well, the past few years, really. So my recommendations are actually really out of date. So please bear that in mind. But there are a few I can suggest. Given that you played all 5 of those, you're probably quite aware of all of the recommendations that I'm going to make. Because none of them are like, oh wow, this is a hidden gem that you might not know about. But I'll list them off anyway for anyone who may not be aware of these visual novels. First of all, there is Clannad and Little Busters from Key. I think both of them are absolutely fantastic. Clannad in particular is, it can really tug on your heartstrings. But I feel like they are both fantastic. They both definitely have the typical Key sort of, the flavor. They've got the slice of life first half, followed by the dramatic heroine, second half. Let's see. Okay, so you can toss the knife, but you can't toss it. You have to pick it up by pushing down, or is it down? I think you have to toss it. Okay, yeah, you have to be near it and then push the move again. Anyway, I'm rambling. But yeah, I definitely recommend those 2 Key games. From there, if you don't mind sort of a semi-horror / mystery visual novel with loads of supernatural and, just tons of insanity in general, Umineko is a hell of a good time. It's absolutely bananas. There's no choices. It is just a kinetic novel, but it's so good that I don't really care. That is a game that I've actually thought about playing on the channel numerous times, but because it is so stupidly long, it is actually, there are 8 episodes of Umineko, and each of them is as long as some visual novels. So it would be absolutely insane, and so I haven't actually done it. If I ever do it, that will probably be something kind of like Danganronpa where it will be something that I kind of post now and then, like every few weeks I might do a new episode of Umineko. But, I'm not by any means promising to do it, but if I ever do it, that'll probably be the format I take to do it. Because it is a game that I love, and, would love to share with others, and I don't think I would offer anything different from other LPs out there, I suppose. But I don't even know if, I'm sure someone has LP'd all of Umineko. I was about to say, I don't know if anyone has, but it's just so long that it's insanely daunting. And anyone who does do it, they're insane, but I commend them for it. Let's see. The Fruit of Gosai is also quite good, in my opinion. I feel like the slice of life first half can drag a little bit, but I still felt like it was funny. And the latter halves were very dramatic and interesting. I do feel like there's some contrivances in the plot that kind of bother me more than... I mean, all visual novels have some of that, but I definitely felt it in the Fruit of Gosai / Gosai no Kaijutsu. But I still feel like it is a game worth considering. I've not played the sequels to it. And Amane is by no means my favorite kind of in the original game, so as a result, I've kind of been less interested in the other games. But yeah, that is another one to definitely consider. This one is a little more far removed, and definitely not something I would say is for everybody, but it kind of suits my personal taste. I have an affinity for superhero stuff. And it's very much kind of like a fighting themed visual novel, almost like kind of like a Dragon Ball / superhero vibe. Choden Genki Striker it's a crazy visual novel with it's just absolutely retarded protagonist. Like, he is among the dumbest, and perhaps even the dumbest protagonist I've ever seen in a visual novel, but I still do enjoy the game. And despite that, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, and like, this is a plot contrivance, and if you can kind of accept that, then you'll have a good time with it, but it's definitely, you have to be ready for that sort of thing with that game. But, like I said, I just like superhero stuff, and that game definitely kind of has that vibe / kind of a fighting anime vibe, which I enjoy, because it's different than so many other visual novels, and that, if you're in the mood for something different with that flavor, I feel like that game is definitely something to look at. But by no means would I recommend that for everyone. There's probably some others that I am forgetting. In fact, I'm sure there is. But those are the ones off the top of my head. So, yeah, if you haven't played those, I would at least look into them and kind of see if they are what you're looking for. I saw through this. Not really. Actually, I'm just button mashing the hell out of everything with Shiki here. But thanks for assuming that, Steam Achievements. Actually, you probably can't see those achievements, but I just got 2 achievements. One of them was, I saw through that for parrying that strike. And, yeah, didn't see that coming. Alright, so that is going to do it for the AMA. I definitely still rambled, but I did ramble 18 minutes less than I did for... because I tried to record this once before, and it was literally almost an hour. So, this time we are considerably under that, so I'll take it. Thank you guys very much again for the support. 2,000 subscribers is crazy. This channel has been around for a long time, but there have been really long gaps, of course. Oh, geez. There's been really long gaps of no content. So for anyone who's still sticking with me, whether you're old or new, actually, of course, thank you very much for the support. And I hope you'll continue to support the channel. Continue to leave me your comments with, what you're thinking of what I'm releasing, as well as what you want to see out of the channel. Because that does help me, because, I mean, honestly, a lot of what I do with this channel is just kind of what I want to put out there. But, there are some restraints, as I mentioned earlier. Some games now some companies are enforcing no stream/LP policies for some games. So do bear that in mind. I can't just do anything I want at this point, because visual novels are considerably bigger than they used to be here in the West. I also do want to mention that I might start posting some Fate Grand Order content every now and then. I haven't decided if I just want to do that with streams on Twitch, or if I want to, kind of post some stuff up on YouTube. But I am playing Fate Grand Order. The game is definitely got some stuff that I don't like, but it's something I can continually enjoy and kind of have the Fate flavor, which I do enjoy, and there's some parts of the game I really do like. I know it's not visual novel themed, so it's definitely something I'm still thinking about and not sure about yet. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of that. Let me know what other games you're interested in, etc., etc. So thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for the support, and I will see you all next time.